But that was a studio game, and ever since we've seen this Turkish team in front of a crowd, they have struggled massively. We're looking at upticks that we desire, that we require from Aurora today, and Woxic's a key part of that. Another player who's really gone quiet when it matters.
No, 100%. You know, in terms of players that you want to see stepping up that have looked good throughout the groups to get here, you're going to be looking at Xantares, obviously, for this side of Aurora. You know, him and Wakadia, a big reason as to why they made it this far. For the MongolZ, Senzu currently topping the charts, but he's someone who you see drop off pretty drastically when we hit these playoff games.
Yeah, we all remember Shanghai, right? That went quick for MongolZ, a 9-3 lead on Ancient to MOUZ that they bungled, with Senzu having a bottom-rated performance. We're into this pistol here. It's a BO3 with MongolZ map pick, the same every single time when they play Aurora. Mirage coming right through. They lose their first man down under.
And Aurora pumped the brakes fully after this opening kill. I mean, they've been rewarded with a 5v4 straight away. No reaction yet from the MongolZ, but Senzu's certainly in a ballsy position. This is afforded to him because Blitz has managed to get past Major in the top of mid. Are they aware that Blitz is here? Yeah, Major did get that spot off, and so Blitz dead in the top of middle. Senzu is to concede this control. Mid now taken, Aurora in a very powerful position here, and the MongolZ feel like they're flying blind.
Oh, so blind. They've left that B-bomb site. Even the short play is pulling back, and they're going to hear him leaving. They don't try and strike. They let him disappear from the site, so it's free for Aurora. This is a bomb plant that MongolZ can do nothing about. I love that Aurora don't even take that engagement.
Yeah.
They don't give the info away. By the time MongolZ find out, it's already too late.
Woxic trying to finish the killing blow here. And Techno, hello, has made it up on a short. Is he going for this 1v3? Aurora did start hunting. Right now he's only got 2 players in the site ahead of him. Techno is believing. 2 kills to his name. Struggles to find Xantares though. And so they won't let him play into that 1v3. I like the tone that Aurora set in that pistol. Their group stage did feel chaotic and a little bit messy, and they felt that too. So they play a very slow-burning pistol round to keep control over the game the entire time. This was a great clear from Major as well, right? Must have got the spot on Blitz. Kind of another situation in the round where it felt like they let the MongolZ feel like they were in better positions than they were.
Aurora coming in with a pistol is a huge sigh of relief for this team, especially on a map the MongolZ have made their own, but you can't rest quickly. Mizzino pushes under in round 2. He's already got an upgrade. He's looking to get more done. Wakadia stops him, stems the bleeding here, as Aurora can yet again relax in the man advantage. 4v3. MongolZ look onwards, but again, split 1 per position. They have no info and they have no trade potential. You're once more relying on a hulking individual effort to win a round like this. Seems unrealistic. Aurora going to get their group on, looking like a 4B. They should have no issue shutting this down, especially with Jota in a deep position.
Re-smoke over in the apartments as Senzu pulls away. He's hoping that that's enough to deter Aurora. But it is not. They will stick to their guns on this one. With Jota all the way up through short, he's been able to confirm it's looking good. Miss smoke, not ideal. But it's not looking like it's going to come back to haunt them. And I'm liking this style we're getting right now. It's slow, you're not all caught up in the moment. Right? I think it's very, very easy when you're in an arena to kind of play to the tempo of the crowd, to take a few more risks. Blitz, that's wild. They won't go any further than this. And so Aurora do stick the landing on that conversion. There's still a bit of threat here thanks to this 3-man save for the MongolZ.
Yeah, I also think it's easier. You know, it's right now 10 a.m. on a Friday, and so this is the least empty you're going to see this arena over the next 3 days. That's a benefit to Aurora as far as we've learned. And I do like the MongolZ also set the stakes coming into this matchup, saying on the stage, we're here to win the event. They run into Na'Vi next. We got potential Spirit in the grand final if you look at their side of the bracket. That's a big claim to make on the stage ahead of your first match.
No, it's a very ballsy declaration, right? And it shows where the heads of the MongolZ are at. And, you know, I think with how the kind of playoff bracket's shaped up, you are looking most likely towards, like, you know, a Na'Vi Spirit grand final. But I think one of the teams that could certainly upset that is the MongolZ. Xantares, though, another opener in this round. Aurora have been full of them across this game, often coming from this lower tunnels control. That's been 3 times over now. They've found these 5v4s on pushes through lower.
And untraded as well. A lot of solo plays for the MongolZ right now. Be that top mid push, be those underplays. Aurora 5v4. They get Madja and Ladder this time. This is Herd. Woxic. Is he going to get caught? He lets him move past. Mizzino playing late, looking to backstab this round. It affords this A stack for the MongolZ. They know where the bomb is going.
And this is the first time the MongolZ have had perfect info on one of these stacks. The push from Mizzino's nice, but Aurora set their sights on battling through the A stack. They've opened up with 2 of the 3 kills needed. Senzu doesn't last long either. And now it's just this flank from Mizzino. Was it just the gift of info, or can he offer something up from this wraparound? There's 2, but he's wounded, low on health. Xantares and Madja ready to swing this together. On borrowed time is Mizzino. Xantares closes in a big 3K from the front man of Aurora to stop that one in its tracks.
Yeah, awkward whiff there for Mizzino. Could have gotten 2 way cleaner out of that one. I mean, he has been struggling at this event. This is his worst event since the Copenhagen Major, and that was only his 2nd Tier 1 event. His worst large event, at least, right? And he's been a huge firepower piece of this squad. Has young Mizzino, 17 years of age. MongolZ need him today. That round can be forgotten about. It's all about this buy that MongolZ have been waiting for. AWP comes in for 9-10. Woxic will meet him there. Oh dear, almost not punished. At least there's a trade for Aurora.
I mean, we've mainly seen Aurora operating with man advantages. So this is the first time they find themselves in an even split like this. They'll regroup again. Madja calling for the fullback from A. Set their sights on clearing out the apartments. Now, was that deep smoke lobbed in? Supposed to, you know, give the illusion that the MongolZ pushed up and took this. But Aurora weren't there to spot it, and so not as paranoid as the MongolZ are hoping for. Only 1 man actually in this B site. Techno's really got his work cut out for him. Aurora are coming his way, but it's a... Oh, he just leaves that off angle. And now he's been spotted. They barrel out through the window. Xantares makes it into the site. He's not the one you want to face. And he takes a lot of room away. Xantares still going. And once more, Blitz left in one of these awkward rounds, wrapping through the apartments. He's smoked off 1v3. He can't justify going for this. This is a lot of early momentum for Aurora.
Great pathing for Xantares. He even got that spot when they dropped in, right? Techno was seen off the window peak, and Xantares doesn't go for the fight. He goes all the way around to backside. Not only does that take massive space for Aurora, it throws Techno off completely. You can see his POV. He doesn't know which fight he's going to get first. Is it Xantares? Is it the Apps player? And it gets a bit of a whiff there. Aurora 4-0 start on the T side of Mirage. This is more like it. This is the team we've been waiting to see.
I think I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on both AWPers in this game as well. Woxic for the side of Aurora, 9-10 for the side of the MongolZ. neither of them having these kind of domineering performances in the group stage. It was very much, rifle-led efforts for both squads. You feel like if one of these orbs can get switched online first, that will make a world of difference. Timeout from the MongolZ. This game, this quarterfinal has not started how they wanted. They lose that pistol, lose that first rifle round. That really starts to leave you on the back foot in this CT half. And this is their go-to map. For a team that did not make shy their ambitions of shooting for the top at this event, this is a very cold start.
Yeah, it's not too late to turn around, right? We know MongolZ have that staying power, great at comebacks. They showed it against Na'Vi to get out of the groups to make this 3-0 run clean as can be.
Oh, this is interesting. 9-10 slipped through the smoke, and they walked right past him.
Hello.
Free kill collected on WOXIK. They need that trade, and right now the trades have been good for Aurora. Xantares taking it one step further. And he is not falling down in any of these fights thus far. Xantares starting like this is giving Aurora a lot of faith.
It's a sign to behold. Finally shut down though, picked up AK, put to use by Mizzino. That Senzu B, they were going there anyway. Will MongolZ realize in this silence that the bomb's gone back? Xantares on a lurk, a rare move for Aurora to make. They are a pack team, and these two remaining players waltz into an empty site. Oh, there's the move.
Gonna get themselves the plant, but already that net is tightening. Techno first contact taken. It's got to be Wakadia left in this clutch. Now everyone is wounded. This is far from impossible, but Wakadia's got to pick the right timings, the right fights. This rat through the apartments just been spotted. Senzu picked up for free. The ball is rolling. Wakadia's going, and he's going to nail every single one.
Ice cold Wakadia in the clutch, and that keeps this game flawless. MongolZ dropped the ball in a 3-on-1. Senzu had him with back turned.
With low health, limited weaponry, it wasn't an easy round still for the MongolZ, but it's how decisively, how quickly they lose that. This is also the first, proper advantageous position the MongolZ have been in, and now even that gets away from them.
It's such a ballsy post-plant position to play in a clutch. It's why it gets, unexpected by Techno. It's a fighter's position, an aimer's position. You are stuck in the open, and you got to be quick. Wakadia keeps this clean, and that is anything but. Missed shot in the orb. MongolZ second full buy, and a second chance at a man advantage goes astray. Aurora starting all these rounds so strong.
And I mean, coming into this, we said, who have been the two hardest hitters? It's been Xantares and it's been Wakadia. And sure, his activation came a little later in the tournament, but without him, this wouldn't have been where Aurora end up. And so him performing well, Xantares, a constant source of openings. The two players that got them here showing up in great form to open up the quarterfinal.
Mizzino needs help.
Wakadia on the entries, has support the whole way. And just unbridled confidence right now for the Aurora squad. They go out A on a contact play. Handful of flashes as they're arriving out through the ramp. It's just Senzu, but he is in a strong position. There's the double up. He's been waiting for Senzu to find his form. Can he best WOXIK? Info's there for WOXIK on the reposition. Another one of these clutches to decide if the MongolZ can finally break through, and they can't. That's now back-to-back rounds that they've come close, but unable to get it over the line.
Such a nice swap off the sniper there for WOXIK. He actually tagged Senzu when he stopped that bomb planter just post-plant. He knew he'd done damage, and you could tell Senzu's not expecting the weapon swap either. He jumps around that corner to try and offset the AWP. It's one rifle bullet and another round for Aurora after WOXIK's clutch. That's a couple of important clutches in this game already.
Hero AWP on Blitz. I mean, you won't be expecting it, and so that first kill will come for free.
I mean, that's a sign of someone who's had enough, right? You're not even the second AWPer. You know, maybe you're the third AWPer on your team. You're buying a glass AWP in round 7. Your team don't even have armor on the most part. A crazy play for Blitz. But something's got to give. Oh, what a bait. What a bait. Wicardia running away and then walking back into the angle. He makes it look like it's B, but the bomb's coming back. There's no one here. It's only 9-10. This should be a 7-0 lead for Aurora. There is no way Blitz's AWP on that B side can stop it. He's got to save it for later. Techno trying to save the round. Traded immediately, and Xantares, or he read it for a moment. Will that bait Blitz in? Will he lose the AWP?
Blitz's gambit of buying the AWP, will it pay off? 1v2, another clutch attempt for the MongolZ. They keep getting enticed to go for these. Saving feels like an option, but if you look on this line, WOXIK's already holding it. As Blitz backs up, he's going to go in to this AWP, and he finds WOXIK. This was the big gamble. Blitz, hero AWP, can it get it done? Just Wicardia left to beat, but this has been the guy. This has been the one putting these clutches on the board for Aurora, and that was the one chance he's got to give you. There isn't time for Blitz.
Oh, Wicardia.
And he just keeps racking them up. Another clutch for Wicardia, and that AWP gone.
Even that delay on the final peak is perfection. Wicardia is coming in with something to give us. A flawless game out of Aurora. No matter what they've met, no matter how many clutches they've been put into, they have put them on the board. And that's with more opening kills for the MongolZ as well in this map so far. They've had their chances. There is no denying that. They just can't stick the landing. Key for Aurora is never let off the gas. Keep the boot on MongolZ's neck. This is a comeback team. They may have come in cold. They may be looking shaky. But to count out the individuals on this roster would be a mistake. Aurora don't look ready to do that. Mid control and not an eye on this position. The MongolZ play contained in their bomb sites.
Hey, WOXIK said this himself in an interview before this quarterfinal. He was saying, like, I'm not going to say any big fighting talk because every time I have, it feels like it's come back to haunt us. And it feels like, you know, the mental block for Aurora has kind of been the expectation that this team holds themselves to. Well, this was a playoff match that they came to play in, like, arguably some of their worst CS in a while.
Yeah.
But it gives you some faith in your teammates and that the floor is still good enough to get you to where you need to be. And now we've seen a far more humble look from Aurora before this match. Maybe those expectations not weighing so heavily, and they're playing a great game. WOXIK, an opening kill. It feels like all of these rounds are 5v4s, and in the blink of an eye, this one is over. It's just Senzu under the palace. Hold on, he goes unchecked. Another multi-kill from Senzu. Can't quite nail a fourth, but time is of the essence. 9-10 AWP might be the thing to do it. WOXIK has to plant the bomb. 9-10 calls his bluff. And so he's got it to play around. It's the swing, the weapon swap. 9-10 deals WOXIK a taste of his own medicine. Finally, one of these clutches coming through from the MongolZ. It's that big 3K from Senzu, unchecked under the palace. It is a hulking individual effort to find them that round, but it's from the man you want performing. It's from the man you need performing if you are the MongolZ.
Yeah, a little change of position there for the MongolZ goes a long way. Mizuno gets flushed out in the site, and they think, hey, A's clear, 5v2. Let's just get that bomb back down. And Senzu completely catches them off guard. Huge round for Senzu. He has been the talking point of this team since his addition. The highest rated player for this squad. And even at this event, number 6. He's also been the biggest disappearance in the most important matches. Not today, says Senzu.
I mean, it shows you how close a lot of these rounds were as well, right? You were 7-1 up, or 7-0 up here if you were Aurora. You lose that one round, you're instantly out of money.
That's crazy,
and
actually.
That's like with how often the Mongols were enticed to go for those clutches, it's because they were close rounds. Aurora using this as a bit of a timeout.
Keep the cool. They don't want to let the coach in, right? They don't want to let Mara have a chat with his team. So they're just going to take the Glock Eco. And I mean, yeah, to add to your point, even the bomb plant wouldn't have made a difference to Aurora. This was never going to be a buy. So the damage was there. The rounds were coming close. Aurora just squeaking them out. All it takes is 1. 1 can become 5 very quickly in this game.
And I think MIBR is also very aware of that fact, right? So taking this time now to calm the nerves. I think that's going to be the real test for Aurora. You know, how do you respond? These have been close rounds. You've been taking them over the line. But everyone is aware of your struggles in these playoff games. You most of all. And so Aurora know the importance of getting back to these winning ways. You don't want to let the Mongols build back into this and give them that second chance on their map pick.
But that's why I like what you're saying the last round as well, before that round from Senzu, because, yeah, Aurora have come in. If anything, there is, to a degree, less pressure because no one expects them to win this game. Imagine, you know, while you have Mizzino say, hey, we want to win the tournament, MIBR saying, hey, maybe we'll win a playoff game today. Maybe, you know, if things align. So the pressure off, a poor performance in the group stage despite making it through. The expectations are low. That's often when you can deliver the highest. That's how Na'Vi won a major. No one expected them to. Everyone underestimated them.
I mean, hey, we're in Astana. That was even the story with that Gambit squad of old.
Yeah, they lost.
When they won their major trophy.
Like the desk was saying off the top of the day, like they lost every scrim coming into the major. They were going to disband. And we've been saying all tournament long, Aurora have looked like a shell of themselves. Or can they crack their way in? 9-10 doesn't seem to think so. A hold going well now for the Mongols in a 4v2. But with 2 players, you don't want to count out just yet. I don't want them to save. I don't think they are. Definitely a round worth giving a go with some of the craziness you've pulled out already. Xantares sits up in his seat, locks in.
Mizzino is very aggressive here. Now, Xantares might just not be ready for it. But if he gets caught, he's the only guy defending this A site, so a must-win fight for Mizzino. And at that point, you know, you've lost Xantares. That was the man that gives you the most faith in that 2v4. Mizzino is even following through on the aggression. And they spot Woxic saving.
I like the move at least. It's showing Mongols have a little bit more belief, right? They've still been fairly aggressive in the CT side. Some of the opening moves, the drops down under, some of these gamble stacks. And so the Mongols aren't completely losing their signature style. Trying to draw this game back off of a clutch. Looking for that 5-round streak. And bit by bit, this arena starts to get more packed out.
Something a bit faster. Mizzino ready for it. And the Mongols fully bite down on this. They rotate everyone over. They are all moving in. Mongolian Horde is coming, and Aurora can't hold on. They will get overran here. Fast A-pop will not do the damage they were hoping for. This comeback well and truly taking shape after that one clutch from 9-10. The Mongols have found their way back into Mirage.
Yeah, and they call their first timeout, Harry. Their first timeout in the last round of the half to try and chat this one out. Aurora, after 4 rounds lost in a row, feel like it's time to get another perspective. But now we have a far more even game. Especially one with the Mongols' consistency in winning these pistol rounds.
I think as well, like even from the get-go, even on that big streak, the one guy who didn't look fearful in any shape or any way, shape or form, like with the aggressive moves he was making, the info he was collecting, was Mizinho. If you remember, it was him like always going for the apps pushes, constantly keeping you guessing. Well, now it feels like that's no longer falling on deaf ears. Not only is he leading the charge in the kill count, but he's providing a lot of value for his team. And he was even trying to do that when the rest of them were a bit shaky, when they were having these slow starts. This game all started, though, with Xantares openers through lower. And that's how they're looking to close out this first half. But the AWPs fire off for the MongolZ, a buy that's only afforded with this streak of rounds they've embarked on. Blitz tries to extend that lead further and will get punished. Brings it back into a 3-on-3. Aurora know the value of this one extra round, feeling like you at least shut out the MongolZ once they warmed back up into this game. Let's see if they can do it. Mizinho always keeping you looking over your shoulder. You never know where this guy's going to appear from. Nade on the smoke will find a kill, but he can't double up. That's the bomb loose. Xantares tasked with retrieving it.
Is he going to walk it?
910 looks like he wants to come through this and brings the fight to Xantares. No support from Jota, not able to do so. And now it's him left up in the clutch.
Oh!
Finds the spam on a 910. And so now Techno plays his hand. Jota, can he piece together where the last man's coming from? Over the stairs, Jota holds on. And it was this guy's addition, this guy being bought into this roster that seemed to give them their big uptick right off the top of the year. That is a huge 1v2 for Jota to find, and critically, it stops that 5-round streak, that nightmare scenario coming in down the end of the half.
Yeah, now you at least feel like you've broken the momentum going into your CT side. That's clutches coming through from 3 different players of Aurora in this T half, and yeah, there were some close rounds. Yeah, their money got broken, but they still take a pretty dominant lead. 8-4 of the T side on the MongolZ map pick. In a map veto that has always gone the same way, right, to a degree. Mirage and Anubis always being the picks in these games. The big difference is that third map. Today it's Dust 2, we've seen Nuke, we've seen Inferno. Big clutch for Jota, just to keep Aurora feeling good after a very scary round.
This pistol round is worth a lot. If Aurora pick it up, they feel like they're right there. They feel like they're a rifle round away from winning Mirage. If the MongolZ win it, though, this gap will start to close, and it will close quickly. An 8-4 half can suddenly become an even game. Blitz on the pathing in through lower, has support with him, and that is a crazy opener from 910. Xantares with an important equalizer, and Woxic brings it back around. Aurora in pole position. Xantares mobile. Not phoning it in. Wakadia with the closing shot. And Aurora dominate that pistol round. That's in spite of that gnarly shot from 910 to find the 5v4.
Yeah, those jiggles are so uncomfortable for Techno when you're just playing, timing, your AD tapping, and Xantares is doing the same. It can feel so hard to be reliable. And Xantares and Wakadia go on to find 2 apiece. Devastating dualies, even at range. And the MongolZ have to take a full eco. I'm glad they don't force. I feel like the MongolZ, I would expect them to buy in a lot of situations here. We've seen them actually kind of lose tournaments off the back of investments, off the back of very reckless T-side purchasing, playing Tech 9s, playing weak utility. When they could just take an eco. They always want to keep the pressure on. So this is a bit different to what we expect, but in a positive sense. It gives MongolZ the maximum amount of full buy rounds in this T side. I'd call that growing. Magic 4-11 has not been a problem at all for Aurora, leading the team, calling the shots. But now he's tasked with a bit of an awkward B hit. That molly won't tick. Magic's going to peek behind him.
Gets the spot off. That's a lot of info now. They know they're coming. Nate goes in, finds even more damage, and so it's well handled, well contained.
Doesn't get better than that. And so it's now or never for the MongolZ. If it was ever going to happen, it has to happen here. Don't know what to expect in an Anubis game with such highs but such lows from the MongolZ and the devastating consistency that Aurora have brought to that map ever since this year started. So can MongolZ keep their cool here on their map pick, or will it just go down in a blaze of glory, running out middle, getting decimated, with Cardia pushing up? And a 4v3, you feel like this round's already lost. Blitz is on 20 points of health.
They are at least going at the right site, right? Support for Major is a long way away. And even though it looks like Woxic is starting to lean over towards this B site, for now, they have themselves a 2v1. Senzu, breakaway kill will allow this plant. I've seen Techno clutch in this exact position, and he's got Senzu, the hard hitter, for the MongolZ, left up in this one alongside him. Can they rely on the young veteran of Techno and the star of Senzu to make this one happen? A lot of early nade damage, but as the smoke's clear, Senzu gets on the board.
Stuck.
He needs more mileage though, and he's getting pincered. Woxic double kill, they swing him together. The synergy there for Aurora helps them stick the landing. He never got given the 1v1 needed to win that. And considering that's what they felt like some of their pitfalls were from the groups, it's more reassuring signs from this Aurora squad.
Yeah, they play that excellently. They know who needs to commit first in that engagement, who to swing off of on the trade, and no one jumps the gun too soon. Aurora keep it clean in this CT side, winning the pistol, converting, and closing the first gun round. And this is where you wouldn't even blame MongolZ to buy, because you are so deep in the hole right now, you don't really have a choice. 11-4 down, and at least you can get rifles, but it feels like this game is already over. We gave them the benefit of the doubt after a little streak on that CT side. But now that doubt is overwhelming. Aurora playing some solid CS. And this side of the bracket just got a bit more exciting.
I mean, this year, the only team to kind of put away the MongolZ on this map so handedly was Vitality back in Melbourne. This is a very, very convincing scoreline for Aurora. Wakadia donning an AWP.
Oh
That's a collateral. I mean, everything feels like it's going right. Nades connect. Techno's round over before it even begins. And this last-ditch attempt at the force buy up gets torn apart. It's not even close. Aurora looking to move onto map point with a flawless round. And this MongolZ force buy goes nowhere quickly.
Doesn't that speak to the stakes, to the confidence? Double AWP this early in the game just because you can. Not as a counter. Not for positional reasons, just because you want to lay down the pain. And Aurora a stone's throw away from map point on MongolZ pick, and they're going to make it happen. The Orbs find everything in this round. And the MongolZ go down in a whimper.
And this would be a ludicrously dominant killing blow. One hell of a way to uplift yourself heading into this second map. Once more, it's another one of these B hits out of the MongolZ. Magic here does have support coming in, but he can't hold the line. That's a difference maker. They get past that first man. This time, not trapped, not boxed into the apartments. There is room to breathe here for the MongolZ. Aurora gonna get blocked. The momentum taken out of this, but Wakadia threaded the needle on a thin angle. At least the trade is found. An important one for Senzu, and a round in which Aurora might be respectful. There is a lot of damage done here.
Yeah, it's kind of unconfirmed damage, though. Match got a spray off, but he was full blind when he did it. Lots of damage taken away, but Aurora don't like their odds. They know positionally this is the right move. Giving it up and allowing MongolZ something in this T side. But I don't have to tell you, it already feels too late.
When Aurora were real hot coming into the year, one of the things Magic liked to do a lot was sort of these mind game calls, hitting the same site over and over and over again. Yeah. Getting in the head of his opponent. Well, Blitz has just called, 3 of these B rounds back to back to back. Finally, it works. I mean, they feel like they can exploit something on that side of the map. That is where Magic is playing. And so, let's see if Aurora offer him a bit more assistance. Do the MongolZ run it back? Do we see something more standard now that they've given themselves a second chance?
It's even scary for the MongolZ because the second time they went there, they ran into the AWP and it got a collat, so it didn't make their life any easier. You know that Aurora have plenty of rounds to play risky setups, to gamble. If MongolZ truly want to win this game, they're not going to do it off the back of just spam B rushing and catching Aurora off guard round after round. They've got to dig deeper. We've got to see some depth on this T side. At least winning that forced round against Map Point provides a full buy, provides an AWP. But did MongolZ already trip and fall down this rabbit hole, or can they find Wonderland?
Look at the positioning on Zantares. He's fighting over the top of the stairs. He really, really wants to be involved in these opening duels. The MongolZ go back. They were waiting to see if they were offered anything up. And now they up and leave entirely. And it looks like they tiptoe back. Thought maybe around going back into this B play, dropping some smokes, looking to get some mid-util lobbed in.
It's just going to have to be a late mid-take, right? Or is this entirely a fake? Con and window smokes come through for the MongolZ. We have Techno starting to clear underpass. Late in the round, getting that mid-control here. Aurora have no eyes in position. This is a lot of real estate for the MongolZ, but it's about what you do with it. Judging by Mizzino's position, you'd expect the A split. So do Aurora.
The fact that after getting B played this many times, Magic has had them stick to their guns, maintain the A stack. The MongolZ breaking through on this A play. Wakadia shuts it all down, and it's only Blitz. He realizes now he's set his team into the belly of the beast. Everyone there. And Blitz has nowhere left to turn. This is Aurora dealing the MongolZ a devastating defeat on their home map to open up this quarterfinal. And as Blitz moves in, he knows it's done. Aurora pull up here. There were low expectations, questions around the level they'd showed in those groups, but a quiet kind of humbled confidence from this Aurora squad. They come together beautifully on Mirage, and they dominate the Mongolian squad to open up the quarterfinal. Happening once before. And now we get on to Anubis. This is one that Yanko said on the desk. He thinks Aurora could be the best team in the world on this map. For the MongolZ, the battle really begins now. They were so slow to start. The ball never got rolling on Mirage. They at least get this T-side opener on Anubis. Let's see what kind of pace they come in with.
I think best in the world is a very fair statement. 20-4 this year alone for Aurora on Anubis. They wrote the playbook of this CT side. Let's see if MongolZ have brought their notes, done their homework, woken up. A very young team with a lot to prove. A team that said they were here to win it all off the top of the day. Well, they may be moments away from being eliminated in the quarterfinals. The MongolZ walk out middle.
Beretta's up close as mid looks to get tested. Wakadia will be getting swung here. Multiple angles, lots to worry about, but he's down a dance. First kill comes in. Oh, and a little bit more. There's help from Maja on that push out through the camera. Mizinho backstab is in. Senzu here to lend a helping hand, but the bomb lost in middle. And Zantares and Jota time to get set up. Even a smoke down now to block this.
I mean, you can't wait that, can you? Can you really? That would be down in just a few seconds and you wouldn't even have time for that plant. They've got to jump through, and Senzu finds that flying shot. The MongolZ come through with a pistol.
Ooh, what can you even say about that? Aurora, that one's really going to hurt.
Yeah.
You get jump shot, a bit of luck, a bit of chance comes into that pistol round.
I don't know how MongolZ even win that. They were so locked out in middle. The headshot mid-air into the turn back. And maybe the MongolZ can wake up now.
And look, if any way of winning that round was going to do it, 2v4 with a jump shot in there to make it happen. From Senzu, no less, the one that you want to see stepping up, taking some onus over this T side.
Yeah, and it's hard to say, like, individually, he was the problem again. He went missing in that first map. You can't really pin it all on him. Sure, it's a bit of a capitulation as a team, but he had his moments. He won him around on his own. The problem felt deeper than that for the MongolZ. Even just the angle of them, you know, coming in, young players, having to get up very early to play this stage game. Underestimating what they're up against. You can talk about winning the event, but you've got to start strong. You've got to take down your first opponent, and something that MongolZ have done so many times before. Aurora's first full buy on this CT side. It may be an argument on whether they're the best team in the world on this map, but it's no argument that they're the best CT-sided team on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's sort of been the backbone to why they've had so much success. They're one of the few squads out there that can win out on the T half. Or CT half, rather.
I've seen games where Aurora will only have a couple of T rounds in their hands and still come back and close the map.
That was how their year started. Back at Blast, right? Having it in the BO5 final, come back on a 9-3 T half. They only get 3 rounds. They managed to drag it all the way into OT and then win that map.
Yeah, the one map they won in that BO5 against Spirit. Okay, MongolZ clashing in con. They find a double kill there. Sticking this one, it seems, but if Aurora are tempted, they might like what they see. 3 low players on the MongolZ in this post plant.
Protocol has to be for the MongolZ, like, just don't give a kill away. If you never give them the reason to go, like 2v3, you can justify giving it a look in. But as long as no one missteps, on numbers alone, regardless of health, Aurora can't go for this.
They put the nail on the head, because look at Aurora. They're playing to contain, they're holding CT. If a kill comes their way, they will go for it. But no kit right now, no util, and the numbers do the talking in this round. A 2-on-4, Aurora don't touch it. So we might have a game on our hands in a second map with a fairly strong start for the MongolZ. Keeping 4 alive is extremely important. Beautiful Barys Arena with a 360 stage and with a sold out Championship Sunday.
Timeout for Aurora. They want to get ahead of this. Right, in the same way that Mirage started with Aurora finding all that success, keeping the money in a really rough spot for the MongolZ, it felt like it was a big reason as to why that first half shaped up the way that it did. Rounds can get away from you very, very quickly here. And, you know, in the same way we were excited when Xantares and Wakadia both showed up in good form on map 1, you should be very happy if you're a MongolZ fan that Senzu and Mizinho currently topping the charts. Mizinho keeping up. He was kind of the one guy who felt like he was playing the same in that first map. Everyone else feeling colder, more awkward. He was still making these aggro moves, trying to bring a lot to the table. And now he's got Senzu up here with him.
Yeah, and that's after a year of really strong events since his debut in Tier 1 back in Cologne last, 20...
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Wakadia and Xantares have suddenly started this round off in great shape for Aurora, both getting away with a kill. And so what was meant to be a bit of a gimme round for the MongolZ, only up against really these saved guns, is now in a precarious spot. There's a 3-man stack as well. Aurora, they love to bring a third player over into this B site, so you've got to be ready for it, but Woxic still yet to take contact, spotted out and spammed to death by Techno on a tear. 3 kills to his name.
Heard him.
This is the birth of Techno. 5K, he just falls short on the Wakadia fight. And so the two titans of that round clash in the battle for dark control. Wakadia comes out ahead.
Big flank for Wakadia, but I can't help but think that what that would have been if MongolZ got that first entry clean onto Jota. The molly flushed 2 players out of position. The nade was perfection. MongolZ almost trade that out to a 1 round off the back of Techno. But that was a 2v5. And Aurora holds strong, finding their first round, buying a double AWP on this CT side. That's a statement. That's certainly not expected. Oh, he hit the molly. Doesn't matter. Is that on purpose? Jota tagging in the other side? Either way, they were peeking into Maja. But he finds that 5-on-4. Stops the roll for the MongolZ. Strong position for Senzu. It doesn't look like Maja wants to go fishing in the canals. Got a nice tight angle. Util to block after his first bullet. Meanwhile,
that's a lot of info, not just an opener, but you see Xantares in the kill feed. You know that this is the triple B stack. He is that third piece at the B site. Whenever Aurora go for it, Wakadia up close here, right as the MongolZ split through main, left and right side of the smokes, but there's that double AWP. Woxic gets his line, gets his kill. And Aurora slow down. They're going to play this one 3-on-2 in the retake. Techno is still far away. They know that because he got the kill outside of B. Maybe they're a little worried about him flanking, someone coming later through middle, but for now they still have this 3-on-1. They try to run at blitz and they will get past him. It's a bit of a guessing game where Techno could be, but because they held mid for a few seconds, you feel like he would have already played his hand. Nearly clutched up in that last round. Can Techno do it this time? Arm spotted, there's the swing. Maja provides the cover, faith in the captain. And rounds starting to be chained together now from Aurora.
Yeah, those 2 AWP shots on B for Maja and the closer, despite a very ugly smoke. Doesn't really land on that bomb perfectly. And if Techno held that nade, maybe could have found even more damage there. So stone's throw away from a round for the MongolZ, but Aurora do find it and call the money into question. Don't be surprised to see a hero gun here for the MongolZ. It's very tempting. Zeno or Blitz could do it. But it's another Blitz classic. He's bought a solo AWP into an eco round. Crazy investment.
With how Aurora have started in this round, there isn't really a reason to go peeking down here into dark. You're only too strong inside of this B site with much more of a focus over middle, expecting maybe a bit of a Tech 9 pop there. And so, you know, a block on dark, Madja playing more passive. All this means for Blitz is it's going to be harder for him to get like these early fights on the AWP.
Yeah, this does surprise me a lot. You'd much rather an AK, I just think, for the mobility, for the fact that you can trade this in a pack. And AWP does limit your options. It does rely on Aurora forcing plays. And they are not the kind of team to do that on the CT side. They are fine to sit back in their setups, in their stacks, take their gambles. Madja has a great read in this defensive side. Right now, though, it's 3Bs. Antares is starting to edge his way back. Uncertainty for Aurora, but no panic. They plant their feet, wait for the MongolZ. Flash play in con, and Blitz fall blind. Now you've seen the AWP.
That's the one fight you were going to get given. Now you've got to go up close, combat AWPing. Senzu and Blitz both get away with the kill. Still a third man here. Xantares lies in wait, but the Blitz hero AWP once more making this interesting. 2v2 in the post plant. 9-10 now armed, now dangerous. Wakadia getting activated on this flank, but getting through the AWP. I mean, now that it's in a post plant, Blitz gets even more dangerous. He'll back off to play around this bomb. And this Hail Mary, the back-to-back AWP, hero buys on both maps now. Blitz is hoping second time is the charm. Woxic, Barrel's gonna give him away here. Blitz will have an extra second. He's seen an arm. Full blind off the line though. And that AWP gets pushed off. It's gonna be real close, but Aurora have got it. They answer the call. Blitz stopped in his tracks. And a tie game as the hero AWP purchase. So close, but not enough.
Yeah, it's a small detail, but you almost want them to swap guns in that post plant there, right? Maybe they're a bit panicked. No one's microing that from Dead Talk, but 910's the AWPer. He has no armor. Blitz can grab an AK. There's plenty to go. It could have made the difference. It didn't. MongolZ close, but no cigar. Aurora continue on this CT half.
And man, you see it in like the celebrations, how Aurora are on the cams. Stages have been a nightmare for this team. It's where they felt their worst. It's where they felt their lowest. It feels like they're finally getting to enjoy themselves a little bit up here, especially with how many of these rounds have come down to, you know, tight clutches that you're still towing over the line.
Woxic certainly looks like he's having some fun. And he's been arguably the biggest culprit of players disappearing on the stage for Aurora. Big drop-off on the statistics. He was a rock back on Mirage. There's always 3 wherever MongolZ seem to go. Can Aurora keep up the strong reads on this CT side? MongolZ take a turn for their own. They walk out middle. That flash, info flash, finds no bullets. Still the shot will connect. Woxic sees that cross. MongolZ have mid. They're trying to split the A site, but right now it's only 910. He's got no support and he's got no chance. Woxic nails both. And this round peters out at 30 seconds.
You even hear that slink back through the dark control. You know you're not going to get rewarded for hanging around middle. You have 2 options here. You either go into the double stack at B, or you go into the Woxic AWP, try and battle it head on. Oh, but you ain't getting past Woxic right now. He is pumped up.
And that's a 4-by round, and that's where it goes, right? Just players so split up, making this move in middle. No one on 8, but any form of pressure on. Woxic's back is completely covered by Wakadia. He plays this strong line that he couldn't play if MongolZ had A main control. It seems like we're getting a lot of individual plays. 4 blind peaks, or dry peaks rather, for the MongolZ. Feed Woxic's AWP.
And we said coming into this, right, for neither of these teams, their AWPs hadn't really been dominating. It had been a quiet tournament from both 9-10 and Woxic. But Woxic is starting to level up on this AWP, finding his footing. Xantares gonna take more than that to get past this guy in middle. Gets out with a double. Missed shot for Woxic, but he can just go through the motions on this AWP. And Aurora have the read. They've got it in spades. They've brought both players off the B site. They full reinforced middle. Bomb now dropped out in no man's land. And 9-10 has nowhere to go.
Woxic is so oppressive right now. Every line in middle held down. Back-to-back multi-kills from Woxic.
And yeah, you know, while Woxic feels like he's leveling up and he's really starting to take control over this game, 9-10 on the other side, 1-7 to open.
Hasn't had
Even
a chance.
thinking back to Mirage, he was, you know, one of the bottom performers for the MongolZ. I think you can make the argument that in these Hero AWP round, Blitz has actually found more impact on his AWP. And like you were saying back on that last map, not even the third AWPer. So, want to see more mileage out of 9-10. He's going to get his hands on the AWP now.
Just look at the map, look at the blue dots, right? They're just so cemented next to each other, stuck in place. Two groupings of Aurora and the fear of mid-control. Woxic goes back to check it. He's going to get mollied out of the camera, has to play inside of the site. It's Wakadia with his eyes on mid now. His control gets taken. AWP dry peek could be the answer here. It's a risky move, but it's going to pay off. You just have to jump. You just have to go if you're the MongolZ. It's again into Woxic's AWP.
I mean, these are the types of position Woxic as a turret pivoting between angles, and now he's got buff. Oh, God! Woxic, this is where he wants to be. These are the fights he likes. There's no stopping him. Plant comes in, but you never feel safe. You never feel secure. Woxic's put the right foot forward. Standard for a southpaw. Couple of jabs land, and they've put this back in Aurora's favor. But how much more can Woxic find? Waiting for his teammates to join him. Raring to go. Molly displaces the site player for now. Techno thrust out into the open. You're always looking over your shoulder, but you find Xantares there. You breathe a little easier. Woxic has to do this alone. And the 6 sequence falls. It's all for naught. Techno gets past him, and the MongolZ finally break this 5-round streak.
Unbelievable. They can't close that with a hold for Woxic. What a monstrous effort. 3 incredible turret-like shots. The left-right good night. And MongolZ in the post plant with Galils. Able to drag it back. 2-on-3. That one burns for Aurora. And MongolZ look to kick up the pace. This is con control we haven't seen before. Senzu. Disallowed.
Wild for Wakadia to creep through the main take util and call the bluff on them actually going for a play on this side of the map. That only kind of galvanizes this 3-man stack for Aurora over at B.
And MongolZ really wanted con in the meantime, but they've just been mollied, naded, double smoked now.
Something else I think it's worth mentioning here is usually, right, in this 2-3 stack, Woxic with the AWP is the other A player. But right now, Xantares and him have actually traded places. And that AWP is very, very useful on the long sightline through mid.
We've seen this fight get lost as well, even though Xantares is playing a different angle to last time. 9-10 crouch peeked this and got the kill onto Arcadia. So tighter line for Xantares. He gets a bit of warning. He blocks at 20 seconds.
Yeah, time is going to be a big enemy of the Mongols here if they get slowed down anymore. Starting to shore up this play. It's Blitz to open Arcadia. 15 seconds. He's split through main. Still manages to get out with one. That's at least going to keep you interested here if you're Aurora. But the Mongols do get that bomb down. Woxic back in the kill feed. Continuing to be this shining light for the Aurora squad. Senzu left up in a 1 versus 3. We'll have this first fight on Jota. But past that point, when they get the info, they know where he is.
Oh, no.
Funneled in! Oh! Senzu! 1 versus 3! And never breaks a sweat! Threw himself into every one of those fights. Aurora, a misstep in that 3v1, and they make life too easy for Senzu.
Yeah, they team flash hard. Magic couldn't see a thing coming around that corner. That first flash was fine. The second one, well, that was all for Senzu. Disaster strikes. And despite Woxic again on the AWP, the Mongols come through with another clutch round. They've finally broken the money. They're finally in the series.
Oh, Arcadia, a few more steps.
Oh.
Will get that kill, 9-10. Caught as Mazinho just left position, now tries to make up for this. But that Deek's putting the fear in them. Mongols aren't worried yet, but it is the most awkward way this round could have opened. An untraded 4v5 dink on a Senzu,
Okay.
just narrowly holds on.
Whew. Trade out.
But they might be going into the stack here. 3 strong inside of the B site. Xantares getting away with even more damage. Dual Barrett is retrieved. Maja also wounded. And so it feels like if anyone was going to upset the nature of this round, it would have to be Woxic. You see that bomb's going out through mid on the back of Blitz. This is a risky move. Right now, they don't know where Woxic is on the map.
Ooh.
But now that you've seen Woxic, you know the other guy was Maja. It's a done deal. The Mongols, a chance to win out the half on this T side. After a 5-round hiatus, it's them now streaking rounds together, 3 in a row.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call that an eco bash for Mazinho. He gets 4 kills, but how important are they considering, you know, his teammate gets 1D'd down on the stairs and everyone else is low or alone. Very important kills just to make sure Aurora don't win a huge upset round, and now Mongols look to win the half. Will Woxic feel like he wants to get more involved and try and force the issue here on the CT side? He's been tame, he's been passive, he's been nailing his shots. 9-10 sends it to Con, and that's more like it. 3 and 10, but a high impact kill to send Mongols into this B split. They're not ready to go, but little do they know this site is under defended.
Senzu extending that advantage. And Aurora dripping players into this B site piece by piece. Oh, that's a hell of a double for Arcadia. Mazinho tries to match him. But the bomber lost. Xantares has uncovered it in middle. The alarm bells are going off for the Mongols. They might have the B site. That's no use to them without this bomb. 9-10 going back. Can't get past the Woxic AWP.
Can you blame him?
And it's this dastardly duo, Woxic and Xantares, that look to bring us even at the end of this first half. Tit for tat in that final round. And 6 rounds on the CT side. Well, that feels like a job well done for Aurora.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with that, especially with the pistol going in the way of the Mongols. Converted simply. Streaks of 3 is it for the Mongols.
Feels like the other problem you're going to face here if you are the Mongols. I'm loving what we're getting out of Senzu. Mazinho still keeping up appearances, right? Doesn't feel like he's really fallen off in this playoff match thus far. But you look down the line, right? 9-10 still lagging behind. Techno feeling a little awkward. It's a very top-heavy board for the MongolZ. Is that something that Aurora can look to exploit now that they move on to the T side?
Been a difficult game today for the MongolZ, no doubt about it. It's really been clutches. That's where they've come through. That's when they've won rounds. Solo players, 2v4s, 1v3s. Across both maps so far, Aurora have looked like the better team, and there's no doubt about that. Can MongolZ make this match more interesting and secure both pistols?
It's a 1-4 B-pop. Aurora have a late lurk, but that won't matter if you all die in main. Jota trying to take space, trying to make this worth it. Pressures Techno down in dark, struggling to get past him. Final few bullets connect. Madge has also got the spot on Blitz, knows he's there, whittles him down low. Push back through, it's a desperate play from the MongolZ. And well, Woxic gets there just in time to lend a helping hand. That is a wild turnaround.
3v5 into a triple B stack with the flash blinding 2 players of Aurora on entry. They slow down, look for those fights, and they headshot everyone. And that just feels like MongolZ get wiped off of the map. To lose that round in that fashion, oof. Again, taking these ecos when they don't convert. But Aurora expect this. Triple Mac 10. Patient in middle. Uh-oh.
You can't have to fight and die on these mid-fights if you're Aurora, and they will. They quickly group. They don't react trying to go somewhere else. They just fight and die on the hill that is mid. And so they collect that conversion. And, you know, in that first half, when we're talking about Aurora, we were saying, you know, they are one of the teams that can put up some big numbers on this CT half. The MongolZ don't really fit into that category. In fact, some of their worst losses here have been predicated with, like, strong T-side leads that fizzle out entirely when they get to that second half. So this is going to be, like, one of the best CT halves from the MongolZ. And now they've got to do it from the back foot. 9-10, this is strong positioning for him. Walked all the way through dark, has a teammate here with him. It's whether or not they're ready for Mazinho as the second man. And they're actually going back stairs side. There is this crossfire. Senzu and Mazinho, the 2 heavy hitters for the MongolZ, in position to rip this round away. Triple water push as Maja is throwing in to a 1v4 clutch attempt. He's found the first. Time is the one thing Maja has to play with.
Yeah, there's an in-game leader clutch right now, right? Not just going for the standard fights in con, comfortable fights. He wants to get weird with it, go all the way around. But if he starts walking here, he's never going to have a chance to win this one. MongolZ are so far away. It's clearing dead positions. And MongolZ just sit on that bomb. So it might just be a combat save for Maja in the clutch. He knows what his team can do with Hero AK. But I say that, they have a 4-buy coming up anyway because of how clean that previous round was. So this is planning for the future for Maja. I like to see an aggressive setup for the MongolZ, though. Trying to disrupt the default of Aurora.
I mean, I think they know, right? If they're like caught sitting back in bomb sites here, giving too much respect.
Aurora know how to slow play those rounds. They know how to strangle you out on a bomb site, and I actually think the MongolZ did a pretty bad job of that on their T side, even when they had, you know, lots of players in middle. Think of those rounds where Woxic's AWPing towards camera. MongolZ had middle. They're trading out peaks. There's never A main pressure. Even when they got the con kills, the B main players weren't ready to go. They were still stuck, spread out on their default, and still took the early fights. So MongolZ just got a little bit lost in that T side.
I also think
Aurora
it's
will not.
a really nice way to like assert yourself a little bit more coming into this second half. It felt like, you know, they were always lagging around behind the adaptations of Aurora in that first half. This was a chance for Blitz and the rest of his squad to flex with the aggression.
Yeah, just to let them know we can do this at any time. But if anything, all that does is slow down this Aurora T-side default. It makes them play more passive. So after an Aurora T-side timeout, let's see how they fare. I doubt we'll see them up the pace at this point in the game. That would only be to MongolZ benefit, to let this early utility be punishing. Aurora know how quickly they can bleed them dry. Selfless hero Major with 12 kills still drops his AK over. Trying to get his stars activated. Oh, they do it again. This is the fearlessness from the MongolZ we've been waiting for. Hard con push with the stairs smoke. And Aurora lose all of this space.
And seeing this twice in a row, you know, it starts a very early mind game between Major and Blitz. You know, now, whenever that stairs smoke comes in, you're more likely to respect it. You're more likely to take your time. That's something that the MongolZ could try and use to their advantage down the stretch of this game.
And I like they're not like running out a main insta. They're using the con control first. That Rugs angle is so powerful to stop an A push. But when that stairs smoke is down as deep as it is, the MongolZ can just run out con, and it's a really easy fight for them. Only at that point does an A player need to put pressure on. So they take the kill. They delay the clock to 40 seconds, and they fall back to the bomb site. What this costs, however, is utility. They have nothing to stop this play.
It is a very resource-intensive play, and will they feel the burden of that lack of util? They try to pad out their site with numbers, but numbers won't save them. Aurora break through from the deficit. The bomb is coming in very, very late compared to the rest of the squad. There's still time for this to get weird. Still not planted. But there's the cover from Xantares. Mizinho low. Only this USP. Where's the gun gone? He goes back to grab it, but Woxic and Xantares take space in that downtime. That fraction of a second he's off the line. They're double set up to watch heaven. And so Mizinho can't do this. Saving is his best option.
Looked a bit crazy from Jota to go through the smoke there, but it was in tandem with Xantares pushing the stairs, so they just crunched that heaven position. Aurora coming confident despite being a man down, and with MongolZ unable to slow the roll, Aurora just go and they go again, deeper and deeper. Round after round, they lead by 2. And so while the opening idea was great for MongolZ, every single player in that A bomb site, and they had enough, they had 3 guys there, they get caught off guard. Techno, an indecisive move, whether to back up or stay. And a great flash that renders Blitz useless. Of course, only 1-for-1 on the camera player. All going to plan for Aurora. It's MongolZ with the timeout. What a day it would be for Aurora to brush off the stage nerves. They have been ghosts in playoffs all year, ever since Copenhagen, where they took down Vitality, soon to be the best in the world. They took a map off of Spirit in a BO5. We had high expectations. We saw the potential. We saw what Xantares was giving us, how Woxic could perform. And ever since that point, it has just been disappointing. It has been first rounded every single time in the playoffs. Stage or not. And so Aurora beating their demons here taking down a hot-handed MongolZ who went 3-0 in the group stage, who 2-0'd Na'Vi on a comeback, 8-4 down. And after that game, Yanko said, this is the kind of game MongolZ wouldn't win on a stage. Are we seeing that MongolZ today?
Well, Aurora have set their sights on the B play. The MongolZ do have this stack here. And so can Aurora brave the three-man B hold? Xantares faces first, gets the spot on the player in at default. That's knowledge of what? Senzu gets deleted. And that bomb starts to make its way in. Smoke spam, but it goes back the other way. Wakadia. Oof. Chance proven to be a fine thing. And now no one else for Aurora faces. They were very confident as that bomb was getting planted. Now they leave the pressure on the shoulders of the MongolZ. Woxic holds the line. His rifling holds up. And Aurora move into double digits. The money of the MongolZ broken.
Just the
path to a playoff win has never felt safer and more obtainable for Aurora.
Yeah, to be up and to be on the T side of Anubis, the map that you made your own, the map that you're 20-4 on in the year with some huge streaks in there multiple times over. This feels like it's meant to be. Woxic is 20-9. He has been the biggest ghost on the playoff stages. Not today. He did it last map. He's doing it again. What a time for Woxic to show up. He had a 2 KD, a 1.5 rating over on Mirage. And that's before we talk about Wakadia. But here on Anubis, Woxic has stolen the show. Multiple multi-kills on that CT side, and he shuts down that post plant just as well. Woxic has 6 multi-kill rounds in the map.
And you factor in Xantares started off on a real heater. Hasn't even felt like much of a requirement here on Anubis, but he's showing in this round he can still do it. Mid-openers all day long from Xantares. And he's on for the ace. They know where Mazinho is. Go on, Xantares. He tries to attempt it. One shy of all 5.
You have been terminated.
And so now, do or die for the MongolZ. They begrudgingly eco that last round to have rifles here. For Aurora, it's in their grasp. We remarked on their casual, laissez-faire attitude coming into this. It's not the case that they have set crazy expectations. They were very much taking this game as it comes. But now that the chance to pick up a win in the quarterfinal is dangling right there in front of them, is that where the pressure picks up? This next round decides it all. If they break through here and now, it's as good as done. And so it's slow from the get-go. They're not getting caught up in the occasion. Xantares bullied to open, sees Woxic swap off that AWP straight away. The MongolZ have a triple B stack, but in a round like this where you're limited in terms of the util, you feel like you're on the back foot, risks have to be made. They're going to come through with mid-round aggression to clear out this B side of the map. Right now, the MongolZ know it is fast building to be this A play. They've just got that intelligence from the B push. And should they start to bring everyone over into this A site?
But again, they have no util except this smoke. That's the only thing really ready to block this play. It comes down, it buys a few seconds here for the MongolZ, but Aurora might even just go through. If they hear that gun go dry as well, the temptation is too much. Out they go with the flash, the first entry, and the barriers start to come down.
That molly, that forces a swing. 9-10 had to commit, they didn't give him any other options. Oh! Captain on Captain violence though as Blitz brings the heat. And it peters out for Aurora. There's 10 seconds left. They know they're going into a stack. They can't win it now. They can't win it here. They back up and save. The MongolZ on the wings of Blitz get to fight one more round.
And no celebrations. Not getting ahead of things. That has to be the first of many, only just to pull back this one map in the series. It's a heroic moment, but it is but one moment. MongolZ have more to do. Aurora just want to write it off. Unlucky, go next. Do it again.
A repeat round from MIBR. Faith that eventually they'll break through this A-hold. And Mazinho dead instantly, 9-10, same exact position, but this time no results, no blitz here to bail them out. The MongolZ lag behind on these rotates, on the firepower, on the manpower. And Woxic and Wakadia drive the nail into the coffin of the MongolZ. Losing here leaves them with nothing in this follow-up round. And Xantares gives chase to add insult to injury, a punishing win.
And that leaves nothing left here for the MongolZ. 2 to 3K a player. It has never been more within reach right now for Aurora. What a hell of a year it's been for this Turkish team, but whether it's Complexity in Bucharest, Maus in Lisbon, Spirit in Stockholm, Falcons in Cluj, and MongolZ in Katowice, 5 playoff failures in a row for Aurora about to be broken. And against the team that started it all.
Four chances to take this one over the line. No chance will be as easy as this one. Aurora have found a lot of comfort in these slower rounds. It's hard to give in to the chaos when it's all been this composed. But do they change it up now? As very, very quickly, they've set their sights on the dark control. They've lobbed in this B util for the MongolZ. It's been 3 B stacks in a row. And Aurora haven't known about that, not entirely. MIBR hoping that these constant A plays are enough to get the MongolZ doubting, and it hasn't changed the setup at all. Ooh. Xantares, molly out into the open, will get found. For Aurora, this is your wildest dream right in front of you. And Woxic's AWP is helping them so much to try and make it a reality. Full harass at B. They know the pressure is on the MongolZ right now, but the tide starts to change. MongolZ bite back, and Aurora 40 seconds. If they are going to change their mind, they've got to go now.
They can do it. They just need to run. MIBR was walking for a moment. He needs to up the pace, up the ante on this split. They have no smoke to stop this. 9 take a nail the shot, but it's a huge huge whiff. The bomb makes it in. There's no one to stop that plant. And with Wicardia locking down mid, this might be the beginning of the end.
Another miss from 9-10. Wicardia will get picked up eventually. And so now Maja, the captain of Aurora, the one that they rally behind, has got to try and walk it over the line, and he can't. Third time's the charm for 9-10. The MongolZ had nothing going into that round, no reason to win it. But they don't let up, they don't go quiet. There's still more ground yet to cover.
We see the difference in detail with the utility there for the MongolZ, actually having enough to stop an earlier round from Aurora when they try split that bomb site. Look at the molly and con onto Xantares. Look at the double B main smoke. Aurora feeling so much pressure. They're popping through the util. And it is ugly for 9-10, but it is enough. Hits that one shot. And that's all it takes to keep MongolZ in it for one more round.
The setup here from the MongolZ, they start 2-2-1. It's only Mizinho actually in the A site.
He can't die.
And he's trying to buy time on the util, right? These have been late hits over at A. These haven't been early plays. He might just get caught. Nades in hand. Xantares can't quite finish.
He's lucky.
And so that will buy them some much needed time to pad out the A site. If Mizinho fell there, this could already be over. 9-10 able to get here on that AWP, but it's more swings and misses from the Mongolian AWP. Backstab.
What?
Blitz follow through on that mid-aggression. And for the first time in a long time, because Aurora were a bit more pacey, there were gaps.
No.
WotZik and Maja, as that aggression keeps coming through, they'll punish. They still don't know where Blitz has gotten to. Jota spots one, but where is Blitz? Right now, it's a mission of finding this elusive player in the back line. He's left them looking over their shoulder, but piece by piece, they've isolated these angles. Still, they can't get past him. Is it coming undone for Aurora? WotZik top of the board. But 20 seconds, time is of the essence, and they have all the info. Perfect information to play off of. The only thing WotZik has is speed.
What a
and he's been forced to slow down. He catches that kill, but Senzu up close.
Oh no!
The spray misses.
No!
Plant just found. And Senzu stops WotZik in his tracks.
What a roller coaster for Blitz to stop on the flank as well. That feels like it's what wins the round. It forces WotZik to plant. He still somehow gets that kill, and Senzu almost throws it away. I don't know how MongolZ are still here. I don't know how they are still in this game. It should have been done rounds ago. And despite Blitz's 5-on-3, MongolZ still try and feed Aurora. As close as it physically can get.
And this might very well come down to a one-round game. Aurora, the one thing they could rely on was the money they'd been able to bank up, and that's now gotten away from them. They're forced onto a hero gun round. Well, who has that hero gun? It is Xantares. And sure, he's had his moments on this T side, but hasn't been required in that same vein as he was in the opening map to storm the board. WotZik has been a huge helping hand. Well, it's in this round. When you give Xantares that AK, you're putting all your trust in him.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of...
That if one guy can do it, it is this guy.
We've seen a lot of sight hits in this T side for Aurora. Some things off the rip, but middle is Xantares' domain. That's where he likes to force his kills, clearing the door, often with no util. AWP does not scare this guy. But MongolZ block him for now. This is very committed for Aurora with 3 B main like this. and no real execute available. Smoke molly's all they've got. They cancel the plan, go back to middle, let Xantares try again. Xantares v Senzu, I mean, these are the stars of the show.
You put your round in your faith in the best rifler Turkey's ever produced. He sets his sights on this mid control. There is a big gap there. Thankfully, Mizinho not punished for it. Gap in the comms, lapse in the comms, and that's given room to Aurora. Mizinho proves to be very important with 2 kills down the stretch, but suddenly it's not Xantares, the veteran on that AK. It's the young blood Wakadia that's given Aurora their chance to close this out on the partial. Wakadia falls, 9-10 pressured. Low health Woxic, but given an AWP, his weapon of choice, having a great game. The nade falls shy, but Techno won't. 1 round match as another clutch comes up in favor of the MongolZ.
They can't keep getting away with it. They just can't. How many chances do Aurora need to end this match? And now they feel it, that old familiar feeling. Choking on the stage. They've had so many advantage positions, post plants, 3 retakes in a row for the MongolZ. They have no right to be in this match right now, but they are absolutely going to give it a go. Double AWP.
It's one thing to show up and play your best playoff series yet. It's another to win the game, and that has been a creeping problem for this Aurora squad. It felt like they'd bucked the trend. They'd moved past it. They'd caught the MongolZ off balance. So finally, after all these faster rounds to try and get this game over the line, Aurora return to what was working, something slower. All these early paths of MongolZ aggression covered.
The comm control puts so much pressure on this B hold. It's only too strong. Blitz is called back to reinforce this site. Magic in this position is a huge threat. At any point, Aurora could appear on B. And Madge is trying to keep that pressure on. Listen to these steps. He's feigning interest. Puffing up his chest. We're more than just me here. Meanwhile, Aurora pulling the wool over the MongolZ eyes into this A site.
He's had some really rough rounds as 9-10. Just the one here. But it does stop Xantares. Makes life easier for Mizinho, who mops up that mid lurk. Aurora starting to feel like it's now or never. They get out, but the MongolZ are all here. Trying to swallow Wakadia with the reply. Missed shot from the Senzu warp. And the MongolZ have to slow this down. It's another post plant. Once more,
the flag.
Multi-kill on Wakadia, but it might all be for naught. He needs the ace clutch if he wants to win this. Heart is now racing. Wakadia has the game in the palm of his hands. Senzu holds the line. It's another retake. There's fighting words from back at the major. A man could be destroyed, but not defeated. They refuse to go down.
4 retakes in a row. We see MongolZ unbothered by round wins a moment ago. But there they get up. They cheer. They are in this game. They are in Aurora's heads. And they have the arena on their side. Overtime in map 2. And Aurora just have to kick that feeling that they should and could have closed this game already. Nine-10 burns to a crisp in that mid-Molotov. He has to pull back. Madge has been deep blocked in con. A little more contact earlier in this round, but no one pays the price with their life. Bye-bye. Second nade connects. Woxic in back-to-back rounds has been bullied by this util. And not for any benefit. No one willing to give the sniper the pick. He's cooled off. Aurora haven't even been doing B splits. They've got this A site. It's so free every time. They keep planting. They just can't close. Trying something different now. Techno caught on a wide swing. It's a double up for Jota. Don't count anything out though. Blitz trying to send it around the corner, gets caught on the wall. And finally, it feels like Aurora may have found that magical round, but they've done it too late.
Yeah, you breathe a little easier though, knowing you've at least stopped this 4-round streak from spiraling out of control. Back in OT, you take the first, and I think also, you know, you get a bit of a helping hand there. The Mongols, once they hit OT, feeling a degree of freedom, start going back to trying to make plays. That was how they opened up their CT half. This time it comes back to haunt them. That elusive 13th on the board for Aurora. And a chance to make this a punishing round all the same. But winning rounds, winning halves, hell, getting to map point, that hasn't been the problem for Aurora. It's closing out this game. It's when you're on match point, 1 round away from moving into the semis. That's where the crack showed.
You said it's one thing playing well on a stage, another thing to win on a stage. Where Woxic is right there between the two. He's had a monstrous 2 maps of Counter-Strike. Mirage was no biggie. Here on Anubis, can he finish what he started? Can he find that final blow? 9-10, a risky move in middle, wide, and the boost comes up. Xantares was made for these kind of peaks, but 9-10 pulls back a second too late, and he would have been dead. The double orb, the centerpiece of this CT side, and he hits the headshot. Is that a flick? Who pre-aims that? Xantares humbled in middle. And Aurora go back to B. It's getting padded out. Blitz on his rotation. We've seen MongolZ with really good stacks. They've always known the right time to pull that third player over. They've never needed the triple B, not in the last few rounds. This time it's integral. Aurora through 1 choke point.
They couldn't aid this smoke open, and that would leave 2 players out in the middle of the bomb site right now with how they're holding this dark control. Because they telegraph it, they'll back up. God. Still Blitz caught with util pulled. This shot for Senzu, Aurora. They're moving in. They're picking up steam with Cardia trying to take space away. The only man that's unaccounted for right now is Senzu. They've heard that AWP fire off. They know he's here, and they'll wrap onto him with Cardia coming alive. Silenced, Mizinho and 9-10. 2 versus 4 turns 2v2 in the blink of an eye, and they send Mizinho into main, but he can't survive the journey. 9-10 swung on as Jota rises to the occasion with 4. He's also been having a bit of a quiet go at it here, but that is a confidence-boosting round for Jota. Right when they needed it, make no mistake, that one was left hanging in the balance in spite of a very convincing site take for Aurora. Retakes have been the strength of MongolZ in this second half.
Not had to try on that B site so much though. Did Aurora go back to the site that let them in every single time? Vizino, great util. Nade Molly stops his play. That was Aurora about to explode and try and win the round immediately. And it would have worked if not for the util. No support for Vizino. That remains to be the case. Woxic fires off the AWP and finds a result.
Yeah, last few rounds, Blitz giving away these openers. And an attempt to swing and punish someone at the stairs has fed Woxic that opening kill. And it's in these slower rounds that Aurora have found their most comfort. Now this 5v4. Eyes set on the B play, strong position, a split in. And the MongolZ so far away from being able to stack this side of the map, it might be coming down to another one of these retakes.
Grenades, they're out already. Xantares beats that Molotov, but won't beat Senzu.
Wait,
the bomb's going
Aurora
back.
overcooking. Sure, they're dodging the stack, but they leave Maggia to fight alone down in dark. These footsteps are heard. Right now, the MongolZ know that this is a last-second change of heart.
They can still win this, though. It's only Vizino in A, and, you know, he's
just reblocked main.
Okay.
Oh, no. 20 seconds left, and he's only just used his smoke.
Gotta go.
He held on to all that util to throw it in right at the bitter end. And now Aurora have no choice but to try and play through, and they play right into his hands. Wakadia doesn't have the time. And so one round on this CT half for the MongolZ. That's all they have to play with. But the story of them throughout this whole game has been doing more with less.
Vizino with an excellent map again. Sure, he has been dying at A, but almost never going down without a fight. Always taking someone or two with him. Sure, definitely had more action in this map than anyone else on his team, just being that solo A player and sometimes having support, more often than not, just asked to perform alone. But this is also the bottom-rated player for MongolZ at this event. Surprisingly so, showing up when they need him. MongolZ can close this in this half. Aurora's worst nightmare. Do we have a similarly aggressive play? The insta-stare smoke comes out for Aurora. Oh,
that is a hell of a catch for Woxic.
He's back.
Senzu on the attempt to jump across. Throwing in to Woxic's sightline for a fraction of a second, and that's all it takes for your round to be over. Worst thing there, you don't feel like you made a misstep. Don't feel like you did anything wrong. You just have to admit he was faster. So now they look for mid, and look at the stack from Aurora in this first rifle round. 3 players lent in towards this A site, including Woxic's AWP. Last spotted over in dark.
You hope the block doesn't let you down. You hope MongolZ still commit with their original plan. It looks like they will. Woxic needs to be careful. Caught out in the open now, focused on main. He's got a bit of cover, but they're playing towards the CT side of things. Aurora not overcommitting to these fights.
That's a meaty nade out of Xantares. He hears them splitting through camera. Woxic fell first. This 3-man stack's getting dismantled. Wakadia buys some much-needed time, keeping the pressure on as best he can. But these rotates are still a long way away. One might not be enough for Wakadia. AWP on this angle. Every swing is fraught with peril. So they'll wait for the smokes to fade. They'll lend time to these players on the extremity, but Wakadia's death was only ever a matter of time.
Nice.
Maggia able to pick up that kill on Blitz. In doing so, gives up his position. He waits for this flash from Jota. Better be a damn good flash. It doesn't get Mazinho off the line. And 9-10, a huge hat trick. He's been quiet all game long.
Maybe his most heroic round yet, and what a time for it to come through in a post plant on the A-bomb site to match this scoreline up 14 apiece. And we go back to thinking about those 4 opportunities that Aurora had to close this map in regulation. How close they came, how favored they were time after time, and how MongolZ refused to go down. Well, can they get a chance? Can they take the lead? Can they find a map point? And again, it's despite WOXIK's 5v4. Oh, disaster.
And you can feel Wakadia still has the fight in him. He's been remarkably consistent, constantly finding these multi-kill rounds for Aurora. This is now your second 5v4 in a row. You cannot afford to let this get away from you, or else no round will feel safe, and you're the ones staring down the barrel of a third map.
Yeah, just to think 2 rounds, you laugh it all off. You forget about the mistakes. But right now, pressure put on WOXIK again. So reliable in this position. Puts on 2 more and finds Aurora that sacred match point. It's the next that's eluded them time after time. They cannot afford to fail now. "30 kills, 15 deaths for WOXIK. Back-to-back 2 KDs, just like last map."
And this is now your 5th chance to get this one over the line. This is in a game that WOXIK, one of the guys that has struggled and gone missing in these stage games, he's giving us a vintage WOXIK performance, rolling back the years. It's with MIBR also fragging out. He's fell off a little bit in terms of his individual output, but not in this map. Wakadia, multi-kill rounds, and even Zantares starting to find these openings again. This is the best Aurora have looked in a playoff game, and so this is where they have to take it. Wild move for 9-10 to open. And it's thrust that bomb at the feet of the captain. MIBR can feel it, they've finally done it. That nightmare, these stage game blues, pushed aside. That dark cloud that hung over Aurora breaks away and gives sight to the beauty that is the Aurora. Into the semis they go. WOXIK looking lights out to take them there. And if he can keep up